Good morning all. Thank you very much for your patience. I think most people have now logged on, which is great news. Welcome to our Horizon Update WebEx, which is aimed at our existing Horizon customers. Many thanks for spending the time and joining this session. My name is Jim Marshall-Andrew. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director for Nomis Connections. With me is Matthew Cox, who's the Marketing Manager at Nomis, and also Sean Blackmore, who is the Gamma Hosted Sales Specialist. Just a couple of housekeeping bits to get started. Hopefully you can hear us all correctly. You've obviously got a couple of choices. You can use your computer audio or you can dial in and use your phone. If at any stage you have any questions, you will see about to be highlighted the raise your hand button. Please click on that. We will be alerted and we will be able to respond online. And also, if you have any questions, please type them into the questions box. We will be collating them and going through all questions at the end. We're going to be recording this webinar session, so you don't have to take notes. We'll send out a link so you can have a look at it at your leisure. The aim of today, Nomis Connections has set up this webinar with their close partner Gamma, is really to help our existing customer base that have invested in Horizon. We want to make sure you can get the most out of the system to maximize your productivity, but also your profitability. So today we're going to show you some new applications with some live demonstrations, and we're also going to give you a feel for the roadmap and what the future holds so you can plan accordingly. As mentioned, please put your questions in the questions box. We'll cover them at the end. And the post-webinar survey is really important to us. We want to do more webinars moving forward, so your feedback about the structure and content will dictate what we do in the future. What I'd like to do now is introduce Sean Blackmore, who is the Gamma Hosted Sales Specialist, to go through the main part of the agenda.
Morning, everyone. My name's Sean. As Jim said, I work for Gamma. Business at the moment is very good. We're working with customers such as Nomis, who were our very first platinum partner in the UK, to drive the growth of our Horizon hosted platform. You can see on the screen, we've now got over 200,000 live customers, live endpoints in the UK, and we're constantly updating our platform. So every year we have about 2 major and 2 minor upgrades, which then get passed down to you. I'm hopefully going to go through some of those in the roadmap section later on in this webinar. We've also got a new data center opening in Birmingham. So right now the Horizon system that you use is based in 2 locations, London and Manchester. We're opening a 3rd one to give you more resilience, and if something were to go down one of these data centers, there's now absolutely no way that you won't get your calls. So that's an update on Gamma. I'm going to launch a quick demonstration about the administrative side of things on Horizon. Show you Call Center, which some of you may be using, some of you might be interested in using, and a Kixie too. So without further ado, this is the Horizon admin portal. So this might be familiar to a lot of you, but you can see here that I've logged in via unlimitedhorizon.co.uk. The welcome page is the dashboard. You can see I've got an overview of absolutely everything that's going on in this particular estate. This is a fictional demo suite. You can see I've got information on the inbound calls, the outbound calls that have come in, an overview of the subscriptions that are being used and ones that we've got available too. And we've actually won awards off Broadsoft for how this portal looks and feels. Broadsoft are I like to describe them as the iOS upon which we build the Horizon app. They're our supplier, and in the UK, at least, we've got the best portal and the best product that we can build on top of their platform. So we've got a certain level of statistics that are available to you right now through the portal. You can see here I've got information on the calls received over the last few months, and calls received over the last few days by the hour. On a real site, on your estate, this would be, you'd be able to see the peaks and troughs. I can also see where my call is based and how many calls are getting through. What I can then do is filter these calls by the site. So you can see here Tamworth, Rodbaston, Newbury, but also just banks of people. So a site can be just a team of people like hot desk users or home workers. And then you can run reports against those particular users too, and download this as a standalone report. Now, some of you might be using a Kixie, which is our call management and call reporting product. If not, speak to Jim, and I'm sure he'll be happy to walk you through it. But I'll just give you a snapshot of what a Kixie is today. So what we do is we take every single call that's made on Horizon. You've got these statistics here. But if you wanted to go into more granularity and wanted to maybe run a report at the end of a day, even at the end of an hour, on who's making and receiving those calls, you can do this through a Kixie. So I've logged in through akixie.com, and you can see here I've got 12 tiles right now that are constantly updating, so they're live tiles. And this is our wallboard environment. So I can see here that in this particular company there are 2 calls waiting now, and the longest has been waiting 31 seconds. You can see here both of these calls have now been picked up. Now there's nobody waiting. 4 calls have been answered and are currently live. And this is how many inbound calls there have been over the last, this has been set up to be the beginning of the day, so 12 o'clock this morning, 12 a.m. This many answered and this many abandoned. So you can see here that the amount of calls that are coming in, and you can report on absolutely every one of them. What I've done along the bottom here is I've prepared some reports, some of them historic, some of them live. You can see here the calls over the last few days. So you can see here Monday and Tuesday, there have been this amount of calls in, this amount have been abandoned. These are the maximum wait times, so the maximum time that anyone had to wait before their call got picked up. This is the average wait time. And you can even set a service level against these calls. So let's say in your team of people that, it could be a sales team, it could be a customer service team, it could just be a team of, the finance department that pick up the phone and maybe process orders. You can then set the service level. So maybe every call that's taken in under 5 seconds is 100% service level, every under 10 seconds is 50%, and so on and so on. You can see these two aren't doing particularly well, but it makes it really easy to report at the end of the day on these particular calls. You can see over the last 24 hours how many calls have come into DDIs. So you can see here Ryan has taken 14 calls of the 15 that have come in. 1 was abandoned, and these are his statistics. I can view by the month, even by the week. I can even go in as far as the last half an hour. So again, from midnight last night, this many in every hour. It's a fictional travel company. This many answered, this many abandoned, and these are all the stats. So I hope that shows you some of the reports you can run maybe at the end of the day and get the full view over what's happened over the entire company or just specific teams. These other reports here are lists of this one here is a hunt group list. So for every single hunt group, it gives a live environment of actually what's going on with those particular calls. So for example, if I take Sales USA, you can see here that there's a green line going through their name. That means that there's somebody on the phone. So one of this particular hunt group, the Sales USA hunt group, they're on the phone, and then you can see their average wait times, the average answer times, the maximum wait time that people have waited in X amount of time to pick up that phone call, and so on and so on. You can even go as far as looking at the extension list. So I can see Sophie and Oscar right now are on the phone. That's why they've got green going through their names. But Tony and Emma, they've got phone calls ringing for them. You can see there's a bell next to their name. They've taken this amount of calls, and this many have been answered. Emma's just picked up the phone. So this could look very, very powerful on the on the wallboard inside of your office if that's how you operate. We've got it in our office at Gamma here. People who phone up want to sell our products, and it really, not necessarily finger pointing, seeing who's making and receiving the most amount of calls, but it really does improve customer service. And this particular report with all the red and green, this is a list of calls that have come in that weren't answered. So for example, if I take this one here, on this date, the 18th of October, At 11:03 and 36 seconds, a call came in. Now this call ended 11:03 and 42 seconds. And the reason why it's in red is because the corresponding agent didn't pick up the phone. So it was a missed call. It was an abandoned call. You can see here it came from this number, 0896, and it went to this number, 01234, which belongs to Ethan Crow. So Ethan Crow is one of the agents or one of the members of staff. It rang for 6 seconds, and because it's red, it means that Ethan didn't pick up. Whereas below, if you see here, Benjamin, his call is in green. He looked at the report, and he then picked up the phone call, and called that particular customer back. So a question I would typically ask here is, what's the average value of a sale, or what's the average value of a happy customer? There's potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that these people can ring back and maybe close a sale, or at least give a better sense of account management and customer service too. So I hope that gives an overview of what a Kixi can do and the granularity you can go to in reports. Again, speak to Jim or get in touch via the questions panel if you'd like to know more about a Kixi. If I jump back into the Horizon portal, you can see here that there's a recorded calls tab at the top. So some of you might use our call recording platform. What it does very well is, unsurprisingly, it records voice. There's no sort of intelligence around it, so you won't be able to do things like PCI compliance and FCA compliance yet. Midway through this next year, we are going to introduce that. What this does is very simply records voice. So if I take David Moore, for example, at the end of the day, if I wanted to say to David, right, how many calls did you record, or I wanted to look at myself, I can go into view calls, and you can see here that David actually he recorded a call at this time. It lasted 32 seconds. This is the file size. What I can then do is click on this arrow, and if I click download selected, it would then download this call onto my PC. So really handy for, again, salespeople who maybe want to log a sale. I know lawyers who use it whenever they've negotiated terms of business, and any use possible for call recording. It's a really handy tool. Training as well. I know lots of people who use this feature for training. What I'll do now is go into the user side of things. So some of you who have admin access will know how easy this portal is to set up users and make changes. If I take one of these users, you can see everyone's got their own account, their own profile, if you will. And if I edit Andrew Robinson, you can see when this loads that there's a nice wizard across the top here. When you get to the end of this particular wizard, all these tabs at the top, you've done something that on a traditional phone system would have taken, it would have taken hours, and somebody would have had to come out with a lighty up screwdriver and fix it for you. But with us, it's really, really simple. So in your existing Horizon estate, if you did want to change something, log onto the portal, and you can even change somebody's DDI. So obviously do this through Nomis, but if you wanted to change it, I can change Andrew Robinson's DDI to this. I can even choose the number that this particular user is going to present out. So, for example, I know not every company in the world wants to give or every company doesn't want to give out every single employee's DDI. So let's say Andrew Robinson was in a customer service team, or he was in the finance team, and every call that is going to be returned to the finance team needs to go to the finance main number. What you could then do is put, I don't know, if it was a London-based company, you could put this number in here, and this could be a hunt group. So it could be the finance hunt group if Andrew works in the finance team, or it could be the main customer service line. So you don't have to give everybody their own DDI, but you've got the option to too. Now it doesn't work with 999 as well. I've tried that. You can't present out 999, although that would be quite fun. And in call setup, these are the main sort of features on a user basis that you can set up. So there's a certain amount of disaster recovery built into the Horizon system, and we call it the call handling section. You've got 3 options: when I'm busy, when I don't answer, and when I'm unreachable. So unreachable essentially means when the Horizon system can't see the phone plugged into the network. So The Gamma network will ping out to every single Horizon phone every 3 seconds. When it doesn't receive a ping back, it'll put that particular user into unreachable mode. So if somebody trips over the phone wire, if there's a power cut, it'll go into unreachable mode. You can then set a contingency for every single user about what's going to happen to their phone calls. So Andrew Robinson, he's in unreachable mode. You can choose to not do anything or forward the call to his mobile, or you can forward the call to the Manchester office, or you can forward the call onto his home number if he works from home quite a lot. You can even say, right, when Andrew Robinson doesn't pick up, after 6 rings, I'm going to forward the call onto another number or go to voicemail. And when he's busy, forward the call onto another number or send the call to voicemail. So when he's busy, when he's on the phone. And Nomis will sit down with you and set all of this up, set all this with you. Another option is twinning. So you can twin with up to 4 different numbers. What twinning means is if I were to call Andrew Robinson's DDI here, his DDI would essentially forward that call on to up to 4 different devices. So his phone, his Horizon phone would ring, but in this case, so would his home mobile and his second mobile. They would all ring at exactly the same time, which to me sounds like hell, but some people like to work like that. So the special thing about our twinning is that you get something called CLI pass-through. So if I were to ring Andy's DDI, although it's a forwarded call from his DDI to his mobile phone, what he'll actually see on his mobile is my 07 number if I was to call him off my mobile, which is special. Not every single system in the world can do that. It's because we're a tier 1 network, we're able to do clever things in the network like that. You can then blacklist numbers, so it does what it says on the tin. It'll stop these numbers calling in, and Andy Robinson won't be able to receive a call off this number. Handy for those PPI people or telecom salesmen. And sequential ring, I think, is a great feature. So I use this personally, and I'd say to everyone, definitely gets it. If I were to call Andrew Robinson's DDI, it would ring his DDI for, let's say, 5 rings. If he didn't pick up his DDI, it would then flow down to this number. So it would ring his DDI for 5 rings, and then it would ring, in this case, his mobile phone. If his mobile phone isn't picked up, it might go through to, let's say, the Manchester office. After that, he doesn't pick that up, it'll go through to the London office. After that, it'll go through to his boss's mobile. After that, it'll go through to his wife's mobile, and so on and so on. You get the idea. So you've got 5 rings here multiplied by the DDI plus 5 numbers. You've got 30 rings before that call is either dropped or goes to voicemail or does whatever you want to do. Again, not everyone will be set up in exactly the same way. We've sort of given you every option here, but this is why Nomis are really good. This is why they're a platinum partner. You can sit down with them and say, this bank of people would like to work with sequential ring. The sales guys will work with twinning. The guys in finance might set up their call handling in this different way. We've also got a hot desk functionality whereby you give a user a 4-digit code. What they do is they sit down, plug that 4-digit code into a hot desk enabled phone in the office, and their profile is pulled down from the Horizon network, and they essentially take a short-term lease on that phone's MAC address for 12 hours, and it becomes their phone, and then they're logged out. So really handy if you've got a team of people or just an office where people don't have specific desks, and they can just sit down and log in anywhere. And these are the options that we've got for call recording. So again, if you are interested in call recording, get in touch with Jim. But you've got 4 different options. You've got do not record calls. You can record for a certain percentage of calls, so you might choose to record for all of the calls, or you might, for training purposes maybe, record 1 in 5 calls. You can pause and resume. So this is sort of manual PCI compliance. So if you're taking credit card payments over the phone, for example, we could be 10 minutes into a phone call. I'll press star 58, I think it is, and that would pause the call recording. Once I've taken your credit card details, or let's say I'm a doctor, and we've talked about the sensitive subject, I can then press star 59, and then the call recording would resume after that. Or, and I think this is another great feature, is record on demand. So this is fully retrospective call recording. So for example, let's say I'm a lawyer, and far from it, but let's pretend. And I was 45 minutes into a phone call, and my client said something that I think would be pretty important moving down the line. All I could do is then press *1 at any point during the phone call, even if that client has hung up, and as long as I'm still connected, I could press *1 at any point, and the whole thing right from the very beginning would be recorded. That's fully retrospective call recording. You could be 5 hours into a phone call, press *1, and the whole thing will be saved against Andy Robinson's name in the call recording panel. And that's a very brief snapshot of some of the features that we've got on Horizon on the user side of things. If you want, Nomis will be able to go into more detail into core groups and some of the administrative capabilities that we can do. But just moving away from the portal, I wanted to show you our new call center offering. So this is I've logged in as an agent, so I'm now a call center agent. You can see on the left-hand side I've got a call console. So this is where any calls that are live. I'm not using my Horizon phone at the moment, so what you would normally be able to see is the number that I'm on the phone to here, and if that number corresponds to somebody who's in our administration portal, our directory, I'd be able to see that client's record. So let's say it was a supplier, I'll be able to see XYZ supplier here with the name underneath, and also the call durations on the left, on the right too. I then get a graphical view of who's in my queue too, and if I want, I can prioritize people, so I can drag and drop a particular customer up to the top, so that when I finish with my first call, it'll then filter through to the next customer. And on the right hand side, I can see my directories, I can see a common, I can see everybody in my admin portal, I can even see a personal directory, babysitter, mom, office plumber. I don't have a baby, but there you go. If I then wanted to transfer one of these numbers onto somebody in this directory, I would click this number, drag and drop it onto Alex Owen's name, and then it would get sent through. And I can either blind transfer, so it just gets sent straight through, or I can consultatively transfer. I can say, Alex, somebody's on the phone for you, it's Alan, would you like to speak to him? Yes and no, transfer or don't transfer. And the most important feature, I think, with this portal, with this screen, is this. So it's the supervisors panel. Now, if I had supervisors here, I'd be able to see, right, Jim's my supervisor, Matt's my supervisor, and this person wants to speak to a supervisor, drag that name over onto the supervisor's name, and that person, so let's say Jim, for example, Jim would be logged into his administration portal, and he'd be able to see that I've escalated something to him and join the call as well. Likewise, there's also a supervisor's portal that looks exactly the same as this, except it says agents. And if I can see that James has been on the phone for 10 minutes and his SLA should be 5 minutes, I can then barge into that phone call, and I can either be mute or I can help out. I can actually speak. So that's our new call center offering, and it works really, really well with a Kixi. I'm sure you can imagine. Imagine if you've got this up on the board and all the agents have their own portal with all the live calls coming in and out. It looks really great. Okay, finally, what I'll show you is this. So this is our what we call the soft phone, and what it does is it acts basically as an extension of your plugged-in Horizon phone. You'll be able to do make calls, receive calls, and you can even chat with people. So I can enter a number into here using my keypad or on my via my PC. If I were to press this button, it would actually instigate a call through my laptop that I'm using, and break out. I can then speak to somebody via I use my iPhone headphones if I'm using this, or I can just use my speakers. This would instigate the call from my physical handset. I've then got a directory, which is essentially, if I go back to this portal, it's essentially my list of users. I've got a full directory here. This is actually the entire Gamma directory. Take Fred Jones, for example. I can right-click and I can chat with him. So I can have internal chat. I can call him. I can call him off my phone. If the email address is in our personal details area of the portal, I can even click email and it would open up Outlook and start an email to him. Or I can add him as a contact. Now, if I add Fred as a contact, he will then go up here into my sort of buddies list. You can see here I've got live presence on everybody here. I can see David Moore, he's red, he's not available. Andy Robinson, who we're using in the thing, in the portal, I can see here that I can chat with him, and I can send those send messages. You can even send smiley faces too. But you can see here, I can set my own presence, I can set my location, as well as having full history over calls and chats too. Okay, so I hope that gave a good overview of some of the features that we've got at the moment. What I'm going to do now is walk through the roadmap of what we've got coming up. So I hope everybody can see that. So, a taste of what's to come. This is what our roadmap looks like. So you can see for the whole of 2016, we've been working to improve and expand the Horizon product. The main thing underneath that you can see here is release 21 upgrades. This is us getting up to the newest version of BroadSoft, who we build the platform on top of, and it's no surprise that you see here in Q3 2016, a plethora of new features have become available. I think that the most pertinent to you could be the hot desking features. This is the full hot desk feature that I mentioned before, and we've got improvements to the scheduling feature. I don't know if you use scheduling at the moment, but sometimes it can be difficult. We've got ongoing work to improve that, and also the ability to customize more of our handsets via the device customization part on the portal, which again I can run through. Moving backwards to Q2, you can see that there are improvements to Integrator, so I'll walk through those in just a second, and Skype for Business integration, which is a really, really important point. So we've had lots and lots of partners come to us and say, we need some integration with Skype for Business, and what we've been able to do is integrate with it. So using Integrator, what Integrator will be able to do is it will reflect call status. So if I was on my Horizon phone and also logged into Skype for Business, it would say in a call. And the most important integration that we've made is I could be sat on or I could have a chat window open with somebody internally on my Skype for Business account or externally. I can right-click that person's name and I can press call from Horizon phone, and that would instigate a call from my Horizon phone that's been plugged in. I'll just pick up the phone, I'll pick up the receiver, and out it goes. So again, hopefully you can see some of the work that's going on behind the scenes. This is only the stuff that I know about as well. 2 major releases, 2 minor releases, all happening all the time. I mentioned our improvements to Integrator. So you may have a CRM that you'd like to be integrated to into your phone system. What we're going to be doing now is, as long as your CRM is third-party TAPI compliant, Horizon's going to be able to support outbound click-to-dial and also inbound screen pop. Currently, we've got about 25 CRMs in our out-of-the-box list that you can integrate with, but moving forward, as of sort of late Q4 this year, early Q1 next year, we're going to be able to, in theory, integrate with any CRM as long as it's TAPI compliant. So again, speak to Nomis about that coming up.
Thank you, Sean. I hope you all found that useful. If you have any questions, please type away and send them through now. We will be collating them at our end and covering them. I'll just check to see if we've got any at the moment. No questions currently. I can't believe Sean was that good. So we'll just leave the question. Component open for a little bit longer. Whilst we are doing that, I hope you did find it useful. We will send out our details with a copy of the webinar, so please feel free to contact your account manager at Nomis or myself, Jim Marshall Andrew, we're here to help, and we're just keen to really make sure that you get the most out of your system. We will be sending out the survey with the recording, so please let us know your thoughts, good and bad, so we can improve things moving forward. I'll just check to see if we've got any questions. No questions at the moment, so if you do need any, just send them through to us at Nomis and we'll cover them offline. Thank you all very much for your time. I hope you found it a productive session. Look forward to speaking again soon. Thank you.